y'all, welcome. Today we're making some Thai chicken coconut soup. I'm just cutting up some chicken breast here, and you'll see that I've got 2 chicken breasts that I'm using. I've already rinsed it off. And Elayne has taught me a little bit of a trick with the chicken breast. If you stick it in your freezer a few minutes before you're getting ready to use it, it firms it up a bit, so it makes it much easier to slice, which is so true. So we want to get it into bite-sized pieces. I'm just slicing about 1/2 inch, almost 1 inch thick pieces, and then after I have these sliced up, then I will take each one and slice that into about, thirds. So this is our first step. So I've added some oil to the pot, I've heated it up, and now I'm ready to add my chicken. Before I put the chicken in there, I'm just going to give it a light dusting of salt. So we'll just add a little bit of salt to it, a little bit more. Just say about 1/2 tablespoon. Just make sure you get all of it salted. And I'm going to add this to the hot oil. I'm just going to brown up some chicken. That'll just take a few minutes, about 5 to 6 minutes on medium. And then I'll be adding my garlic. So after the chicken cooks up, you add your 2 cloves of garlic. So you can use fresh garlic and chop that up. I do recommend actually chopping that up before you do your chicken, so you've got that clean cutting board still. Or you can take a shortcut. If you've got a Trader Joe's nearby, you can go to the frozen section, and they've got these little garlic pods that you just pop out. And one of these equals to 1 garlic pod, so I'll use 2 of these after my chicken has cooked up a bit. Okay, so after adding the garlic, these usually just pop right out when they're frozen. So I've let it sit out just a tad too long, but usually they're super easy to work with. You're going to add your lemongrass. So I found this lemongrass in Sprouts. Sometimes they have it fresh and it's really large, or they'll just have it in a small container like this. I just pulled out 1 stalk. You're going to cut off both ends of the lemongrass, and then you're going to chop that up pretty fine. If you don't chop it up really fine, then your kids might complain that there's hard substances in the soup. At least my kids do that. So I make sure to just chop it up. So I'll take about some really small slices of it, and then I'll take each small slice and then chop that up, kind of mince it, if you will. And then you're going to add that to the soup next. Okay, so you can see that I've chopped up the lemongrass really fine, and I used about 1 inch or so of the stalk. I'm just adding all of that into the soup, and then we're going to do the ginger next, which is yummy. Okay, so you're going to take your ginger, cut off about 1 inch or so, because we're looking for about 2 tablespoons of ginger, and I learned this little trick, that you can take a spoon and it actually takes the skin right off. It's super easy. As you can see, I'm just removing the skin before I chop up the ginger. Also, I wanted to mention that not only does Trader Joe's have this, the garlic, they have the ginger in those little frozen pods as well. So if you want to take that shortcut, you can. Or you can just buy the fresh ginger. Ginger is really good for you. You can use it as a tea and just chop this up and put this in hot water. And it has a lot of medicinal properties to it. So after you get your inch or so of ginger all cleaned up, you're just going to chop that up too, just like you did the lemongrass. So I just do slices and then just dice it up. Okay, so I've added the garlic and chicken, and now I'm just going to add the ginger, and the lemongrass is also in there as well. So I've added the ginger now, and I have it on low. So you're just going to let that simmer as you start to add your other ingredients. Pretty simple recipe. I'm just using green curry paste. You can use green or red, whatever you would like. And 2 teaspoons of that goes in there. I use 2 heaping teaspoons because I like a lot of that curry flavor, and it adds a little bit of spice. So you're just mixing that in with your chicken. It's going to be nice and yummy. And then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. You can use low sodium, or you can use a substitute if you don't do soy. 1 and 2. Trader Joe's does have some aminos, which is a good substitute to soy sauce. And then this red boat fish sauce is the best. To me, this is the secret ingredient. This is the gold. So it gives it a very specific or particular flavor that no one can really put their finger on by itself. It's not a very pleasant smell, but mixed in with this soup, it's delicious. So 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. And then we're getting ready to add our water chestnuts. But first, we're going to give this a little bit of a stir. Incorporate all those ingredients. It's looking really good. And now we're going to add the water chestnuts. I do not drain it. I add the broth or the liquid in there because it just adds to the broth. Okay, next we're adding 4 cups of chicken broth because that's going to be the base of our soup. Now this soup can easily be made into just chicken and rice dish. So you would just add 1 cup of broth and then the full can of coconut milk and serve it over rice if you would prefer that over soup. It's delicious either way and you get the same flavors. So that was 2 cups. We're going to add 2 more cups of chicken broth. Or you can use bone broth, which has a lot of medicinal properties as well. Super healthy for you. And you're just going to stir that up together. All the ingredients are incorporated. And right before you added all the broth, if you wanted to add mushrooms, you could do so then. Go ahead and have those cleaned and chopped, ready to add. Okay, so after you've added in your chicken broth, you're now ready to add in your coconut soup, or excuse me, your coconut milk. And we're going to go with the full fat coconut milk. Try to avoid the light. This is some healthy fats in here. And so you're going to see that there is the thickness of it, and then there's liquid that comes out, which is the coconut milk. And I like Trader Joe's brand, but you can use any brand that you like. Theirs is pretty clean. There's minimal added ingredients to it. So you're going to use that full can in there and stir that up nicely to incorporate with the broth. And it's looking so good and smelling so good. Okay, so next, the garnishes. We're going to do cilantro, which is really easy. Once you've served up your soup bowl, a quick, easy way to make cilantro in your soup is just to cut it up. You can either chop it or cut it, whatever you would like. And then also limes. This is key. The lime juice. The fresh lime juice is important because it's delicious and it adds that tartness that the soup needs. Okay, the best way to cut up limes is to follow the lines in the limes if you can. So if you'll come in close now, you can see that there's some lines that follow in the limes, and they become juicier that way. So once you slice that, you just follow those lines to cut up, and you'll use this as your garnish as well. And then the next garnish is an avocado. So the best way to do the avocado is, for me, I found easier to just cut it in half, open it up, and then I like to just slice it in sections and then in squares where you can easily scoop it out. So each person gets about a quarter of the avocado. Of course, you can add more if you would like, and that's another optional garnish. Now that you've had all your ingredients incorporated into the soup, you're ready to serve it up. So if my family were here and eating this, my kids and my husband, they would add rice to theirs. They're Filipino, and we have rice in probably 80% of our meals. But you could also use cauliflower rice as a healthier option. So I have it served up. I'm going to start with some avocado as my garnish. I've already pre-sliced it, so I'll just cut that up, or scoop that out after it's been cut up. Put a few sprigs of cilantro and a big squeeze of lime. Oh, that looks so good. Now it's ready to enjoy. Delicious.
Okay.
Just add your lime juice and you're all set. Ready to enjoy a delicious bowl of soup.
You have a peeping Tom.